Welcome to our lesson on proportion word problems. Before you start this video, please make sure that you have your pencil, highlighters, and calculator handy. Alright, so let's read this word problem. It says Olivia bought 6 popsicles for $7.02. How much would Olivia pay for 10 popsicles at this rate? The first thing to recognize is that these rates are equivalent. Equivalent rates or equivalent ratios are called proportions, so we're going to use a proportion to solve this problem. The first rate that I see is 6 popsicles for $7.02. The second rate that I see is I'm not sure how much money for 10 popsicles. Because I don't know the amount of money, I'm going to put an X right here. That's what I'm solving for. Right now it's a mystery. Just so that I don't have labels in my proportion, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the labels on the side over here, and I want you to write that down too. Anything I write down, you're going to be writing down as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to compare dollars to popsicles. Now, I could have done it the other way around, but I'm just choosing to put dollars on top, so that's how it's going to go. Dollars compared to popsicles. Because I have this written out, now I don't need to label everything within my answer. So 7.02 compared to $7.02 matches with 6 popsicles, so I'm going to put a 6 on the bottom. Again, my labels are kind of off to the side. Because these are the same rate, we're going to make an equal sign and a ratio or rate over here. I've got I don't know how much money, which is actually, I'll just make this a little bit bigger, X, mystery number, compared to 10 popsicles. Now, before I solve, I need to make sure that everything matches up and down and matches side to side. And when I say matches, I mean the rates go together. So this is a rate, $7.02 for 6 popsicles. And this is the other rate. We're not sure how much for 10 popsicles. Now I need to check to the right, side to side, and see that these are related. This is money, and so is this, how much money. So it's money and money, dollars and dollars. And then on the bottom, 6 popsicles, 10 popsicles, that's also a rate. So that works as well. I'm sorry, it's not a rate, but they match. So we're good to go. All right, now we are ready to solve, which we learned yesterday. Yesterday we learned that if it's a proportion, the cross product will be equal. So we're going to use our handy multiplication fish to multiply 6 times x, which would be 6x, then an equal sign, that's your equal sign, and then we're going to multiply 7.02 times 10. Now, you can do this in your calculator, this side of it, so we'll just for now write it out. 6x equals 70.2. Now the problem is, I need to get x alone. Right now, 6 is multiplying x, so instead of multiply, I need to divide. I'm going to divide by 6 on both sides. 6 divided by 6 is 1, which gets me just 1x, x all alone. Equal sign, and I can do this in my calculator, 70.2 divided by 6. When you calculate that, you get 11.7. Now, if we look back up into the problem, x was on top, which was dollars. That means $11.7, which doesn't really make sense, so we need to add an extra 0 on the end. $11.70 for 10 popsicles. Now, the second problem, after 2 hours, the temperature rose 9 degrees. Find the amount of time that it will take at this rate for the temperature to rise an additional 14 degrees. Because we're talking about the same rate again, equal rates, we're going to be able to set up a proportion. I know this one isn't going to have a nice neat answer because it says round your answer to the nearest tenth. Let's stop for a second and go back to this problem. In this problem, if you wanted to, you could have figured out the price per popsicle, which is $1.17 per popsicle, and then multiplied it by 10 to find your total. In this problem, we can't really do that because it's going to be a messy answer, and so we need to set up a proportion for sure. What I'm comparing in this proportion is time in hours, compared to degrees, temperature. So the first thing that I see is 2 hours, it rose 9 degrees. And the next thing I see is find the amount of time. So x, we don't know yet. that it will take to rise 14 degrees. Because we're talking about at this rate, the same rate, we're going to make equal ratios, which are called proportions. 2 hours compared to 9 degrees. I see that from right here. Equal ratio. I don't know how much time for 14 degrees, and that's what I'm solving for. Now, before we start, let's make sure everything's lined up. 2 hours matches with 9 degrees. Our mystery amount of time matches with 14 degrees. And then let's check from side to side on top and bottom. Here we've got hours and hours, 2 hours and I don't know how many hours. And then we've got degrees and degrees. So it matches up and down and side to side, and that's what's important. All right, now we solve. Again, cross products are always equivalent in proportions, so we can use our multiplication fish to find the cross product. 9 times x is written 9x, equal sign 2 times 14. And I'm going to simplify. 9x equals 2 times 14 is 28. The next thing I need to do is get x alone. Right now x is being multiplied by 9, so I need to undo that. The opposite of multiply is divide. So I'm going to divide by 9. X equals, if you do this in your calculator, 28 divided by 9, it will say 3.11111, and the ones keep repeating. They never end. But in our question, it says round your answer to the nearest tenth. So 3.11111, that would just be 3.1. Now I need to answer the question, how much time will it take? I need to remember that I was measuring my time in hours. So this is going to be 3.1 hours. And I have my answer. And that's it for now. Have a good day.